Greetings and welcome back once again to From the Depths, where in the last episode we encountered a slight setback in our plans for world domination. Don't worry, it's always better to have the setbacks early on because the stakes are less high, and it's just generally better to have your setbacks when the stakes are less high. But our little ship didn't do too well, so I've actually taken the initiative, and I've been doing a little bit of building on it. Also, I just noticed something that it will make my brain itch unless I make it symmetrical. There we go. I have a plan. We're going to be using this for a different job. As I mentioned in the last episode, I think I will use it more or less as a bit of a runabout, but I do want it to have a bit of bite at the very least. Really? Tractor beam? Are you trying to call me fat? Let me stabilize this a little bit, maybe? You really are trying to call me fat, aren't you? Damn it. Okay, well, let's move on. I guess my robot self does need to lay off the oil a little bit. But one of the problems with that ship is, even before when I thought it may have had a chance with the cannons on, which are no longer there, it really wouldn't have posed much threat to an airborne danger. Nor will this, as I will show you now. The highest it can aim is about there. So unless the airborne danger is really low down, not going to do any damage to it, except on the occasions where it's just inaccurate and the shot goes wide. And relying on something like that, nah, not going to really help. I suppose I could help this out just a little bit. In fact, I am tempted to, just a tiny little bit. We're going to go to custom cannons, and I'm going to add another motor-driven barrel. We're going to put it there. But that's all I'm going to do with this. Let's see how that has affected it. It has actually affected it. Oh my lord, it's affected it quite a lot. Wow. I wasn't expecting that to do that much of a difference. Maybe I don't need a missile defense system here. Well, I was going to build a missile defense system here, and then I was going to work on this, which is kind of going to have the same thing. But I think no, we're going to just work on this then. That actually worked out quite well. I approve, in a way. Right, let me anchor myself to this seat so the tractor beam stops trying to tell me I'm humongously fat. Okay, there we go. Now, as you can see, I've stripped away the guns. But as you can probably also see, I've added some ammo barrels. What's this, Aavak? You may be tempted to exclaim in surprise and alarm, thinking that I may have lost my edge, my tactical genius. No, don't worry. I have a plan. The plan involves turning this into a dedicated boat-killing machine. Also adding... well, no, we'll take that away. Let's protect our ammo. We don't want that to be ruined now, do we? No. Also, I don't like having my captain's chair in the middle of the ship. I want it closer to the back, actually. Let's go to control, then. Chair there. I also don't want the wheel over there, because if I'm going to be all the way back there, I'm not going to be able to use it anyway. So we're taking that away. Now, for the vehicle controller, we can go with a ship's wheel, which, as you've seen, comically huge. In fact, let me just put myself in the captain's chair for scale. See, told you, comically huge. No. We're going to go for a vehicle controller. Now, the vehicle controller has an advantage beyond not being comically huge. It can swap between modes of control. So, with the Q toggle here, I can change it to land control, air control, or ship control. See, versatility. Very useful in a weapon of war. But, right, we're going to start by creating a proper little area for the control room. And you know what? Since this is going to be higher up, I kind of think we do need to make this out of something a little bit more robust than wood. So how about this? We'll place a lightweight ally block there and there. How much metal we've got? We've got enough. We'll place 3 there and 1 there and 1 there. Actually, no, this should be wood because it's going to match with what I'm going to be placing here. I want this too high little area in here to be completely sealed off. I might use light alloy blocks for armor later on, but for now, we'll just use that there. But the area, the bridge of this vehicle needs to have much, much better protection on the whole, I feel. And despite the fact that I'm saying that, I'm about to do something that's going to make you wonder why I bothered having better protection. And I'm going to add glass so that I can see out the windows. Because aesthetics. You know, what's the point of being alive if you're living like some sort of primitive caveman without any sort of art or joy in your life? No, no, no. There we go. Right. Now, we're going to want a door. That's why I've left that area conspicuously blank. Where are doors? Repair tentacles, repair bots. That might be worth having. Cost crystals, though, so we're not going to be having that yet. Standard door. NPC spawning? Really? Strategic antenna? What's this? Buildable but not yet functional. Oh, okay, then. Damn it. Right, let's add in the door. There we are. Now, this is starting to look like a proper little boat. However, I feel we need... We need something at the back here for me to actually walk out on. Let's go back to wood again. Now, you can actually be very, very specific in how you build things. And I've only really worked with wood blocks, the most basic, or just blocks in general, the most basic of anything. And we don't want that. Let's go for upward slope. I could go with a 1 meter or a 2 meter. I'm going to go with 2 meter upward slope. I'm going to lock the orientation. There we are. And I'm going to make us a little balcony out here. However, this part I want to have a 1 meter slope there. There we go. So that's our little balcony on the edge of our boat. I guess I could actually make it look a little bit better. But that will do for now. I just want it something that I can walk out on and jump off of more to the point. How is this going to affect the keel? I'm putting a lot of weight over here. So I'm going to try and preemptively balance this out. Let's get this going. Also, I don't need this to be locked in orientation. Let's put a little bit of extra weight there just to try and help. Damn it, nighttime. Not a good time for me. I mean, in real life it is, but while I'm trying to build, not so much. Okay, now, for the meat and bones of this boat. Despite the fact that I was saying this isn't going to have a missile defense system, it is. But its missile defense system is going to be specifically targeted at boats. That's right, we're going to make missiles that can swim. In some parts of the world, they may also be known as torpedoes. Let us begin. Now, this is something I haven't played with at all in my first taste. So I'm actually looking forward to showing this off, because it's very, very fun indeed. Missile controller. The missile control block is the block that controls the launch of missiles. It has connections to the front, left, and right, so they're not back, up, or down. And connects to both connectors and launch pads. We're not good. Well, I could build a missile control pad on each side, because, you know, it's a boat. It needs torpedo tubes and symmetry. But I'm going to place this in the middle here. So there we go. I'm also going to lock orientation again. So there's my missile control system. Now, what I would like to do is use the 6-way controller. Now, this can connect in any way that this can normally connect. It wouldn't work from the top. Although it looks like it wouldn't actually connect anything because it's not allowed to connect from the top. So we're going to put a controller there. And then we're going to go down one and replace that block. There we are. We're still airtight. But we now have room to build up our missile control system. I'm going to bring this back a little bit because I would kind of like the torpedo tubes to come from the back. Oh, no, no, no. Wrong place. And wrong place again. And wrong place again. What the hell did I do there? There we go. I would like the launch pads to come from further back. Now we need to build the missile launch pads. And the way this works is the missile launch pad is the base of your missile silo or missile bay or torpedo tube, if you like. Then the missile blocks act as the actual tube itself. So your missile design is limited to the length of the missile tube. So here we go. We're going to build one. Well, I could build it closer to the top, but I'm going to build it... Yeah, I'm going to build it underneath. So there. I guess I could go the full hog and build it here as well. I mean, I could give this 4 torpedo tubes, and that would make it particularly powerful. You know what? I kind of like that idea. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. So we've got 4 torpedo tubes now. Next, we need the actual missile blocks themselves. So we're going to build this out. So 1, 2, 3. Let's go with 4. Now, the thing with torpedoes over missiles is they need far less fuel to go the same amount of distance. So, whereas with a missile, this would be a decent range. This would give us sort of a mid-range thing. With a torpedo, this is going to be a very long-range torpedo. At least if you built it with the same amount of fuel tanks and propulsion as a missile. All of these little components, each missile block can have 2 components in it. So there's a thruster and a fuel tank and a fin. A fin and, by the looks of it, a... I can't really tell on that. I think that is a warhead. And... no, that's a warhead and a... seeker component, but we'll have a look at it now. This is the part of missiles that's really fun. Even more fun than building custom cannons. You press Q to customize your missile. Now you can make this very interesting. There are lots of different components here, but we're mostly going to be dealing with components that make sense for a torpedo tube. So we're going to replace the whole thing with body, and that's basically giving us a blank canvas. Now, short-range thrusters guzzle fuel, mostly for missiles, but you can use them in water. However, we are going to be using a torpedo propeller. So, there we go. One torpedo propeller, you know, it'll get us there, and it'll take a very little amount of fuel as it goes. We could put 2 to get it there a little bit faster, but I'm happy with just that. Next, fuel tanks. Now, 2 fuel tanks will give a regular missile, you know, short to mid-range, depending on the amount of thrusters you put on it. But 2 on a torpedo will give it mid to long range with just 1 propeller. You could put 3 and just give it really long range, but I prefer to be a little bit more conservative with the way I build these things, because that gives us more space to play with the other things. Now, there's all sorts of things. Target position prediction guidance. It'll try to aim the missile where it thinks it's going to be by the time it gets there. Augmented proportional navigation guidance, which will try to maintain a constant bearing to the target, so it's a little bit better at making sure it gets there. Though, if you're dealing with very large angle, well, actually, as it says there, if a very large angle, it has a bit more trouble actually locking on. Then you've got the seekers. Infrared seeker, laser beam rider, receiver, laser designator receiver. Further down, we've got sonar, camera for seekers. These all help with it actually finding what it's meant to hit. Infrared, obviously, will aim it at something that's hot. With cameras, with the infrared seeker, you can change that slightly. The infrared seeker will take it to the thing that's hot, but then the camera will try to pick what you've told it to aim for. So, for example, you could say, aim for the guns. The laser beam rider and designator work in conjunction with a laser transmitter. We're not going to be using that because torpedoes, it doesn't make as much sense, but I'll cover that when we do use it. Proximity fuse means it'll blow up if it's just near the target rather than right on top of it. Very useful for mines and that sort of thing. Safety fuse means it will never blow up on your ship. That is very good, especially with if there's a potential for the turret to turn such that it might fire at your ship. So you can use the safety fuse to make sure that even if the enemy literally lands on the deck of your ship and you launch a missile at it, the missile just won't detonate, it'll just hit it. 1 turn. Now, we are going to use that, but before we do, I just realized I haven't put any fins on. Now, fins provide maneuverability, important for seeking missiles, beam riders, or laser-designated missiles, especially important against high-velocity targets. Now, having a few fins on a missile gives it a lot of maneuverability. This is not going to need that. We're going to put 1 fin on it because it's going to, this is more of a slow and steady wins the race kind of ordnance. But the 1 turn is very useful. This unit will direct the missile onto the course the player was facing when they launched the missile. So my boat could be facing a different area. I could be trying to get angular velocity on my opponents, or just trying to duck and weave around incoming missile fire or cannon shots. But as long as I'm facing where the enemy is and I launch my missiles, or my torpedoes in this case, once they're clear of the ship, they'll turn to where I was aiming when I launched them. And that is very, very useful. Now that gives us 3 more parts that we can use. We can have magnets, which are pretty useful for mines. It'll draw them towards the center of mass of something. Ballast tanks to keep the torpedoes, or mines for that matter, at a certain depth in the water rather than just hovering on the surface. Regulator, which gives it a longer lifespan because it'll eventually explode normally. But a regulator gives it even longer and you can stack them. But we want warheads. Actually, I could perhaps use the safety fuse. I'm going to have 4 missiles launching from this. Maybe it would be wise, actually. Yes, okay, we'll go with the safety fuse as well. Right, fragmentation warhead. You've got 2 types of warheads. Explosive, it blows up. The explosion is localized unless a fuse is used, or fragmentation. This will detonate and launch 50 razor-sharp fragments. This is what we want. It's also pretty good against flyers if you're going to be aiming at those. Now, I'm going to go into the fragmentation warhead, and I'm going to change some of the settings. I don't want a 180-degree cone of spread for the shards. I want this to be really focused at the point of impact. So, I'm going to reduce this all the way down to 7.17 degrees. So most of the shards are just going to explode outwards ahead of the torpedo, hopefully into the belly of the beast. So there we are for that. Now the final thing, this is where generally all seekers need to be on the head of the weapon, except for the laser designator receiver, because it's, instead of following a point that it can see in front of it, it's actually trying to ride... the beam rider receiver. It's trying to ride the laser beam. So it's looking where the laser is behind it and trying to align itself with that. So this is the only one, to my knowledge, that doesn't need to be at the front. But we're going to be going with sonar because we're making a torpedo, for goodness sake. There we are. Sonar has a 45-degree field of view horizontally and a 15-degree field of view vertically. So if I did use ballast on this, I would need to make sure that I didn't push it down so far that it wouldn't be able to see its target and would just sail straight underneath the boat. Useful if you were dealing with subs, though. But I'm pretty happy with that. Now, let's have a quick look at this design. As you can see, it's different from the one below it. In fact, it's different to all of them. Now, this is where the magic comes in. If we go back into editing this, we can assign the design to all of the same length missiles. This is important. So I'll click that now, and we will see that all of the missile bays that are 4 length connected to this particular missile controller have that missile design, or rather that torpedo design. So that is particularly useful for us right now. You can have a single missile controller controlling several different length missile bays, and in which case you could put different missiles in each one, which would be pretty interesting, or different clusters of missiles. But there's one more thing I want to add to this before we start. I don't want to launch all of my torpedoes and have them all reach the target at the same time, because there's a chance they might interfere with each other on the way there. So instead, what we're going to do, and just in case I need to do this specifically the same way I do with the custom cannons, I'm going to press B while facing my missile control system. And as this likes things to be connected at the front, I could put it above these, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to put it in front of this. We are going to add... This is the laser emitter that I was telling you about. Also, you can add friend or foe in case you have a fleet of multiple ships, especially in multiplayer, but you can have a fleet of multiple AI-controlled ships as well that you've brought with you. This will try not to attack your forces, but what we want is staggered fire add-on. You can add more of these and the effect is cumulative, but we're just going to use one, and we're going to increase the delay to the maximum delay, and that is ½ a second between each launch. So now our torpedoes will be launched ½ a second after each other, and that should help out a little bit. In fact, let me just add this there. Now that I've got that, I want to add a couple more batteries to this design. Let's add one there as well. In fact, we're going to just cover this with batteries for the time being. I'm going to leave that little spot at the front there. There we go. I'm tipping this over. Damn it! Tractor beam, hold it still. Stop making me feel fat. Right, there we go. Now, this little ship is starting to shape up nicely, I feel. Let's use the wooden beams in here to add a bit of protection to our engines. And then fill that out. We've got a little space in there. We can put some more engines if we really wanted to. We've even got plenty of room up on deck that I could add guns or even a custom turret if I wanted to. I don't at this point, though. What I want to do is I want to finish off the bridge section. And yes, I'm still going to be using glass. There we are. Let's get that in. Oh, damn it. I have locked orientation. That is not what I meant to do. Let me get rid of these. There we go. I want the glass to face the right way. I really do wish the glass had connected textures so that it would not have these frames around it. I wish that was just one large glass panel. But, oh well. If wishes were horses, then peasants would ride. Right. Okay. Let's build out the top of this. I am going to case this... Ah, damn it. I was about to say, I am going to encase this entirely. No, no, come back. Oh, balls. I hate doing that. I could put metal on top, but I'm not going to. I guess we'll put wood there for now, and we'll just live with that. So, to wood blocks we go. And I'm going to start with a 2 meter downward slope. Let's start with that. About there. There and there. Then I want a 1 meter downward slope at the back here. Eventually I will replace these slopes with... Ooh. I would prefer to use beams here, but we'll just do it like this instead. There we go. Right. This... did I just break something? No, I didn't. Good. Alright, there we go. Our ship... Except for this stupid thing in here. Go away. Did I just broke loads of things. Why? Why am I so destructive on my boat? Can I not... May I not do... Oh, crap. They're here. That is kind of terrible times, honestly. Okay, let's see what we can see. Exit build mode. Enter different camera mode. Where are the enemies? They're in this direction somewhere. Oh, crap. They are actually airships. Well, balls. Okay. Damn it. I really should have perhaps gone with the missile system after all. Okay, well, let's get out my captain's seat, get back up to my turret, and see if we can't catch a sight of those scallywags over yonder. In fact, I'm going to use my camera to move out here, because I can barely see them. I'm not sure how far away they are, but they are shelling me from an incredible distance. Okay, let's see if we can't hit them. And fire! We might actually get these shots far enough. They are air, after all, so they're not going to be able to take much damage. If I can just hit them with a couple of my armor piercing, then I will probably do enough damage to take them out of the sky. Once I've done that, I can go take them on with my sub. Well, not my sub, my boat. Maybe higher up? Let's try that. It's hard to predict because they're so far away. Let's see. Am I even getting close? Oh, I did! I've hit some of its balloons! I've run out of bullets. Shit! Fire! Take the balloons off! That's right, that is perfect. That is exactly what we need to be doing. It's protecting its balloons. Actually, I don't think it's trying to. I think it just has no choice. Yes! Haha! Take that, you scallywag! More balloons! Get rid of them! The balloons must be destroyed. We're doing a bit of damage. Oh, it's coming in hot, actually. This is not good. Please don't land on my fortress. I would prefer that you did not. Damn it, it is doing bad things to my fortress. Get away! Stop breaking my ship! Aim for the balloons. If we can take those out, we've got a fighting chance. Or maybe go for the bridge there. I shouldn't have used up all of that ammo early on. Thankfully, its main cannon can't seem to hit me. Oh, that is a ship over there. Oh, no, no, no. There is collision damage in this game. It is liable to do an enormous amount of damage to me just from hitting my cannon like this. Let's go for you there. Try to take out your ability to hover. Once you're in the water, my torpedoes are going to wreck you because you're not built to take it. Also try and get rid of that gun. Fire. Armor piercing my arse. You just bounced off it. More damage. I need to get rid of that right now. Get into my command seat there. I need that dead. I'm being hit by missiles too. Fire. Damn your gun and its armor. And damn me for missing too. Come on, we can do this. I need a little bit more ammo. I can hear those missiles landing all around me. It's kind of frightening. Now, 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 now. Its back is facing me. It's on fire. This is glorious. There we go. Main target disabled. And now for those guns. Okay. Let's try and hit that balloon connection. If we can. We've got enough metal to do repairs right now, and that's probably the main thing keeping us in the game, is that we're repairing our damage. They aren't able to. At least not as well. Ouch. I really wish you were around the other side so that you could absorb some of these cannon hits. I need to not be here because I'm going to get hit by them. Alright, let's see if I can still control my gun. No, I cannot. That is unfortunate. Let's see, can I control my gun? That's, I'm going to just have to hope that I can survive. I'll put my back to this guy over there. Aim for something important, please. That's right, I've got a little bit of ammo stored up there. And you know what? I think I really need to just leave you there. If this was AI controlled, it would be glorious. Alas, not. Okay. You know what? Let me see if this thing has got any torpedoes in it. Are you loaded? Let's take control. In fact, he's right in front of me. That is glorious. Torpedoes! Away! Go forth! Destroy! Destroy him utterly! My glorious ones! Ah, perfect. Fire them all again. All of the torpedoes launch, launch, launch! Ha-ha, you fool! You positioned yourself perfectly to be destroyed! In fact, I think this is the actual ship that, I need to turn. I need to not be anchored to my tractor beam. Please let me go. If you love me, you will set me free. Okay, now turn, turn, turn. Face the enemy, please. That is correct. And fire the torpedoes. There we go. And again, please, with the firing of the torpedoes. As soon as they're loaded. We're doing a decent amount of damage here, and he's not doing enough back to us to slow us down. But I believe we have run out of ammo. We're reloading it from the stores on my main ship. But this is the main problem, is we have run out of ammo quite a lot. I'm going to need a lot more ammo storage on this, really, I think. You're not getting away from me that easily, I'm afraid. Come on. Torpedo tubes load. I'm going to wait until all 4 are loaded. Or at least a few more. Are we ever going to get that loaded? Ammo. I think it's 100 ammo for each one of these. That's a bit of an oversight, actually. I should probably change that. Okay, some big explosions there. Right, we are winning this, I feel. Let's get behind him if we can. Have I got power? I believe I have. Can I not move? Have I been broken in some way? My poor ship being damaged? Say it isn't so. We're not moving. That is an oversight. Fire! Okay, we are apparently low on fuel, and that is a little bit of an issue. I'm not sure why. Fire again. At this point, this little ship would be able to just kill everything here. And that is glorious, I feel. I think great success has been achieved, but ammo is holding us back. Well, you can pick where you want to explode. It's fine. I don't mind. In fact, I'm going to let you reload for a little bit. I'm going to switch over to my main gun in the fortress. I'm pretty far away. Try not to die on the way there. Get up here. Oh, my gun! My beautiful gun! Oh, my pretty, what happened? Oh, you scallywag! You have broken my fort! You know what I think of that? I think I'm going to get up close and personal with you for that one. Don't think you're going to escape. That's right! I will finish this like a man with my bare hands. Well, my blunderbuss anyway. It's almost my bare hands. I'm a robot. I can have blunderbuss hands if I want to. Alright, let's take out your AI control system completely, because if I can do that, then you literally won't do anything to me for the rest of the game. What I need to do is do that on the enemy's boat. Ooh, wow. Did I just take that whole thing down? Yes, I did. I'm in the belly of the beast! Ha! I found you! This was your main control circuit. I will take you out as well. That's right. No mercy. I may be a robot too, but you have come to my home. You've broken my stuff. I do not forgive you. Wait, can I get out? Have you locked me in? You cunning swine. How did you do this? What kind of witchcraft? Aha! I found my way out. Okay. Where's your friend? I think he's over there. Something is slowed down. Something is slowed down really a lot. Oh, I think that ship has despawned because it was broken for long enough. Ha ha! I have now got 290 crystals. And a lot of metal. Look at that! 49,000 metal. Well, that's gonna fund a whole new breed of warships for me. Also, I'm gonna break your stuff again. No. It's no good being all sorry about it now. What the hell are you doing? You trying to stab me with lights? I think you may be. I'm just gonna take out this component, then we're gonna move on to the next one. There we go. I think it's slowing down again. It's probably because it's despawning an entirely enormous vessel. Sorry for the slowdown. But we win! Oh, we win! Well, kind of. Oh my god, my boat. My boat has been utterly destroyed. Still, we win! Oh, my oil! Wow, that's actually pretty bad. If that had run out, my my fortress would have started to crash. Okay, I think we need to quickly do one thing before we end this episode on a bit of a high. We need constructibles, I believe, or is it control? No, not these. Constructibles. No, miscellaneous. Repair bots. They're going to take 15 crystal. We've got enough now. Repair bots. You can live in this part of the fort from now on. Let's place you... I'm going to orientate you there. 1, 2, 3. And we'll do the same on this side. 1, 2, 3. Go forth, my winged minions! Repair my glorious vessel! Ah, that was fun! Well, it was infinitely more fun because I won. It probably... Well, no, actually, it would still have been fun, even if I'd lost, honestly. That was a pretty fun little battle. You, though, I'm disappointed in you. Why weren't you swimming? What have I done wrong? Have I still got my propellers at the back? I do. Why weren't they working then? That is most curious. Let me get in here. How much charge have we got? We've got loads of charge in the batteries. And that's why I put the batteries. I let the batteries come up to the full like that, by the way, so I could see. Okay, let me bring out my camera just a little bit. Let's actually have a watch. Do these spin up? These don't do sod all. Well, that's a little bit of a pain. Is there anything else I can use? No. Oh, no, there we are. Ah, right, of course. Different controls. T and G, forward and back, instead of U and J, which you get normally with ship controls. Okay. Crisis averted. I was just being a derp, as usual. Right, let's get back in closer over here. We've actually got a bit of speed on us. We could ram things if we really wanted to. Okay, cut engines. There we go. I feel that both my fortress and my tiny little boat did remarkably well for themselves. Well done, both of you. I'm very proud. Let me go and tractor you in so you can be repaired. Engage tractor beam on this. There we are. And exit. Right, I will let the repair arms fix everything, if they even get fixed. Well, they will be fixed. They'll just take time. Let's see. What are my repair bots doing? Are they doing awesome work? I imagine they are. Look at them. Very, very busy little repair bots they are. Well done. I will leave this episode at that point, staring at the ruined remains of my enemies. Ah, glorious times. But yes, that is the end of this episode. In the next one, I intend to go out and actually take back this area. Let's quickly check. Are the Deepwater Guards sending anything more? Yes, they are. Damn it, another 30 strength fleet. But this time, we will be prepared. I will be able to build this thing up even more powerfully than it was before. Maybe I'll actually put some missile systems on the fortress this time, since it is actually getting a bit attacked. Additionally, it is time for AI. The AI is much better at fighting than I am. For obvious reasons, it never misses. Well, it does, actually. But it usually doesn't miss. As long as I've told it not to miss, it won't miss. It all depends on how accurately I tell it not to miss. But that is it for this episode. I do hope you've enjoyed. I hope you will be joining me for the next. But until then, and as always, do take care.